I look nice up there on television. I think maybe I should grow the beard back. What do you guys think out there? Send in a text right now on a vote. We're going to vote Jason a beard or no beard. That's the big test if you're here today or not. If you actually showed up for the meeting, we'll know because you sent a text message to Adia, who's laying in her hospital bed, bored to death. So she needs about 200 texts to come in right now. Everybody voting whether or not I should grow a beard back or not grow a beard back. Today's show, we have all kinds of fun and exciting things going on. We're going to talk to you guys about a new ticketing system that we created for all of your maintenance issues inside of the clubs. Present that for you. And then we have a very deep dive in the 10 steps of service to be a part of our training program presentation today. So excited to do all of those wonderful things with all of you. But before we do that, we've got to do a little bit of, for a lack of a better term, housekeeping, friendly reminders out there. So go ahead and give me my next slide out there, Summer. I feel so naked. Da, 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 da. Oh, that was easy. I could have done that one without a slide. First up, the mission statement. Everybody remember that one? There should be rooms full of people screaming this together. We deliver an immersive adventure, harnessing masterful showmanship, outrageous service, and an over-the-top experience. And our next is probably going to be the best factor. Who out there remembers the best factor? What do you think? Yes, there it is. You got it correct. It is the excitement a guest feels from the moment they discover your venues, which reignites every time they remember their experience. These things are awesome things to remember and train your staff on. You guys should do this every single day. Make it a part of the fun of clocking in. Have written tests that goes along with this stuff, because this is what really embodies to be a part of GoBEST. Understanding what it is to have this mission, to make sure the guests have a great time, to make sure they have a great show, to make sure they have great service, and then we want to make sure they have a great memory. We want to combine all of that stuff into having a great venue that everybody wants to have the best time at. Absolutely. And that way they keep coming back. Because why do guests come to our club? There's 6 great reasons out there why they come to our club. Does everybody remember them? That's correct. Because we are a rejection-free zone. Everybody can come in and have fun, no matter what kind of venue you're operating, whether you have a bookstore, or you have a sports bar, or you have a gentleman's club. People come in to be around other people and interact in a space they feel safe. And that's why social interaction is the next reason why people come out. And then we have live action entertainment. No matter what the venue is, all of them have live action entertainment. It's easy to say, oh, the entertainment is the stage. The stage is not the only entertainment. Let's remember, everybody in our businesses is on stage. Everybody is part of the fun. So make sure everybody understands that you're a part of the fantasy, you're a part of the show, you're a part of the entertainment, you're a part of the interaction, you're a part of all of that stuff. And that's what we're going to talk about in great detail today when we go into the 10 steps, how this all plays out for each individual server. The fantasy, unplugging, and most of all, having frickin' fun. People come to our businesses no matter what the type of business is, because they want to have fun. Otherwise, they could just sit at home and use Amazon to have things delivered. They could watch things on Pornhub. They can do all of this stuff. They can sit there and just hang out on Instagram for hours at a time. They're not doing that. They're coming to your venue to have fun. So if you see them in your crowd with their phones out, going like this, they're telling you they're not having fun. They're telling you you're failing at the 6 reasons right there. You're losing out on the 6th reason people come, to have fun. They're not unplugging, they're plugged in. They're doing this. They're basically saying, fuck you, you suck, I'd rather look at the internet. Don't become that business. Don't be a fuck you business. Be a fun fucking business. Bring them in, embrace them, and enjoy the show. Masterful showmanship, entertainment, action, socializing. That's what we're about. That's what GoBEST is. Make that shit happen. And now, I will bring up your guest speaker out there, and he is going to tell you all about the wonderful things he's created for our team to make your life just a little bit better out there. And without further ado, bringing up our Chief Technology Officer, Mr. J.C. Pabaloo.
Hey guys, great to see you. I'm sure we all know each other at some point over the years. Well, here at GoBEST, we use a wide variety of technologies that all seem to work in sync to make a customer experience the best they could possibly happen, and to facilitate the service of our cast and crew. However, there are times that technology will hiccup, And when that does, whether it be sound and lighting, our network communication, our POS, our media distribution, what's playing on your TVs, our social media, our ad space, and God forbid, credit card processing. If any of these things should ever go down, or you're experiencing any tech issues, or even building maintenance issues, well, we've always, in the past, fielded phone calls on my phone. Anyone that's been with me for more than 5 minutes have seen me answer 3 to 4 phone calls in that same 5 minutes of things that happen out in the field. We have become proficient over the last 25 years at resolving everyone's issues. However, with our GoBEST team, we've gotten so big and so professional that we're introducing a better way of communication other than, hey, JC, Shiloh, I have a problem, JC. Shiloh, we're down here. However, that is not well logged other than I hope I remember to take care of that when I wake up in the morning. But right now, we've put together what we call the GoBEST support portal. It is a fantastic, user-friendly, easy-to-use, mobile-friendly, and of course you can log in from a desktop if any of you still use laptops or desktop computers. But what we do here, whenever there's an issue at one of the clubs, and that may, hey, my lighting's down, my music's not playing, I'm having trouble processing credit cards, my TVs 3, 4, and 6 aren't distributing media from our last social medias, or our PowerPoint presentations that is our in-house advertising, well, we want that resolved right away, because that altogether works with our customer experience and creates part of that wow factor of how the guest feels when he's in our location. And we also believe we have to facilitate our cast and crew being able to process their orders, process their credit card transactions, and get the speed of service so our guests have the best possible experience ever. Now, when an issue does arrive, because in all good tech, there will be an occasional hiccup. And when that occasional hiccup occurs, well, we're here to help. And how we're going to help you is to best serve you by giving you a vehicle to log what your current issue is in real time and have immediate attention to it. So very simple, folks, if all of you, if you have your phones out, because this is mobile friendly, you would log into www.gobestbiz.com/support go. You'll see the first slide right here, right in front of you, and you'll be presented with a submit a ticket login. Well, your login is your GoBEST email. We have 2 domains, GoBEST VIP and GoBESTBiz.com. Use either one of those emails to log a ticket support. That is our security. No passwords to remember here. I'm terrible with passwords. I'd be lost without my password keeper. However, this is our security process. So you enter your email address into login, submit tickets. So in my instance, it would be jc@gobestbiz.com. And next slide, please. You enter your email, and you log in, and then next slide, please. And next slide, please. And you go to your inbox of your email, and you will see an email from Shiloh and I that says GoBEST support. Open up that email and then click the link that says log into the portal. You log into the portal, click, next slide please. You'll be looking at this. Now, picture this, depending on the size of your screen, whether Android, iPhone, or your desktop, you will see a button that says submit a ticket. It might very well be at the very bottom right. It might be very well at the top, but it will be there. I've highlighted it in this slideshow right there. So you select start a new or create a new ticket at the very top or bottom. In creating a new ticket, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Very simple. This is all done from your phone and can be done in live time right from your floor. So no more, hey, let's remember to call JC. Let's remember to call Shiloh at the end of your shift. These things your time is precious. You're running an operation. You're putting out the GoBEST factor and the GoBEST experience everywhere that you are inside your club. And there's a few things that hiccup that night. It's not a showstopper, but it needs to be addressed. So we've made this super simple. Please just follow, fill in the blanks. We're all very good at that. And you know this because we all do our form stacks at the end of every single night. This is simple. Simply fill in the blanks. You start with your title or summary of your issue. Let's say, for instance, ATM not dispensing cash. Description, hey, we've got error code 442. Our ATM is not dispensing cash. And you write a short description, then you select the drop menu. And your drop menu will actually categorize it for me so I can take a look in history and say, hey, Oklahoma has had 3 ATM issues over the last 3 months, and perhaps we should do a site visit instead of just replacing hardware. There's something more in play. So you select the drop menu in the next pull down menu, and you select, hey, what's the issue here? Is my ATM failing? Do I need some camera support? How about my email? I forgot my password. Can you do a reset? How about hardware? PCs in the office not getting online. Lights and sound. Hey, our sound sounding really muffled. Are our subs down? How about maintenance, building and maintenance? We have the front door that's broken. We have teams for this. And of course, there's going to be miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is stuff that I have not even thought about describing here, but over time we will. We'll know exactly what every problem is that in the club, and I'll put it in the drop menu. But say if your phones aren't working, your printers in your office aren't working, your reader boards outside the club aren't working, you select it in that drop menu. And next slide, please. And then you put yourself as the point of contact. Who is this? Who am I speaking with? Am I speaking with my friend Reggie over in Stockton, California? Am I speaking to Cameron in Lansing? How about Holly in Kalamazoo? How about Nico in New York? How about Ralph at Larry Flint Hustler Club, Las Vegas? Well, that is going to be our point of contact. Enter your email, and then any photos that you have that you might think that would be helpful in the resolve of this issue. Sometimes it's connections issues, and I've seen connectors pulled off wires and someone's moving a speaker, then all of a sudden we've broken a connection. Well, any picture will help in the resolve of that. So attach a photo, attach notes if you wish. You can attach a sketch, and then click submit. Next slide, please. Oh, back up a slide. Hey, Jason. Hey, so back up a slide. So how we interact with a ticket. So you've logged a ticket. What's really neat is that how are you going to interact? How are you going to know this happens? Well, you go to your email right now, and as soon as you submit that ticket, you will get a response immediately that auto sends that your ticket has been received. And then this is how we communicate with the technician, whether it's Bud Walker in Durand, Michigan, John Nelson, Shiloh, and myself here in Las Vegas, and the other techs that we employ in GoBEST. And best, I do mean the best techs in the world that have ever worked in adult entertainment are right here employed at GoBEST. Little pat on the back. But hey, so that's how you interact with the ticket. So it's going to get an immediate response. We're going to assign the ticket to a technician, and then we're going to write notes. Hey, can you send me another picture of that? It will go to your email. How do you interact with your ticket? You reply to that email, and then we have a continuous dialogue going and a date of which your issue will be resolved. Very simple. And when your ticket is resolved to your satisfaction, you'll say, hey, thank you so much, or hey, that took a little bit longer, JC, get on it. We needed to go faster next time. And we'll close your ticket out for you. And now what you have done is built an account history, and what we have is a history of how long it took to resolve your ticket, what issues are occurring at your club, and whether we need to make a site visit as soon as possible, or if there's anything else that we can do for you, it will be right there, and you'll have a ticket history, and we can keep a log of what you're needing and what your business needs to continue that great GoBEST customer experience for not only your customers, but also for your staff and their speed of service. So very simple it is, and guys, go at it. Shiloh's on standby right now, so if you want to open up your phones and start a couple test tickets, please say test. So we know that it's a test ticket, but we'll reply and let you know that the system is working, and you're going to find that it's so easy to use that you're all going to love it. And there's no more, I forgot to make that call, or I didn't take care of it. He promised he would have it done by Friday. Well, this all goes away today, and I think you're just going to love this because it is going forward the way we're going to handle things and handle things expeditiously to your satisfaction. Simple stuff. Nail the easy button. You've got this. Look forward to hearing from you. And any issues pending, please start a ticket and we'll get you resolved as soon as possible. Love speaking with you. Love you all. Love you all, 209. And back to Studio One with Jason Moni.
Nice. That microphone got excited. That was to wake everybody up, just in case JC didn't inspire you enough. But we do want you to get out there and do a test. So right now, as a second part, to make sure you stayed awake through our beginning here, no, I'm kidding, is to do a test to Shiloh. Shiloh wants you to send a message to him to say, "Hi, Shiloh, welcome to the team." That's what you got to send in your test. Shiloh, welcome to your team. That's how we know all of you that have signed in today know how to use our new ticketing system. So go ahead and send those out right now, because we just walked through on your phone how to get all of that rolling, and now you have it. And right here, live in Studio One, I am joined by the server extraordinaire, Miss Wonderful and Beautiful, Gabby Smith, otherwise known as a Las Vegas Hustler Club fantasy facilitator on this side. And of course, on this side, I've got the one and only KMA, that's right, Kiss My Ass Kelly, Executive Director Operations next to me. Hi, Kelly. How are you today?
Did you have to roll your eyes when you were introducing me? Was that entirely necessary? Oh.
Did I roll my eyes?
Yes, you did.
I didn't mean to.
I voted for Beard.
You voted for Beard?
Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly. I appreciate that. I voted for Beard, too. I look younger and older at the same time. It's kind of fun.
So what are we here to talk about today, Jason?
We're here to talk about the 10 steps of service, the roadmap to an over-the-top guest experience. So we want to make sure our guests have a great time, because that's what we're all about. That's our mission statement, right, Gabby?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So what is step one of the over-the-top guest experience and or the 10 steps? Do you remember what it is, Gabby?
Of course. Step one is greeting the guest. Always, when a guest comes in, pass off from the host to the guest. We're going to use Tom. Tom's going to be our guy today. The host is going to say, "Hey, Gabby, this is Tom from Connecticut. Tom, this is Gabby." Immediately, you are establishing that amazing first impression. You're making him feel acknowledged, valued. Welcome, Tom, to our club.
Hi, Tom. Welcome to our club. Absolutely. That's how we want to do some of the greeting, but is there more to it, you think, Kelly?
Well, I think one of the great things that she said, first of all, is she used the name right away. So using somebody's name, and everybody always says the same thing, right? You know, like, oh, I'm great with faces, I'm terrible with names. Everybody is great with faces and terrible with names. The only way you're going to remember a guest's name is if you sort of force yourself to do it, if you train your brain to do it. So by the time that she and her team member have handed off the baton, so to speak, we've heard the word Tom, we've said the word Tom 5 times. So it's like permanently embossed in our brain now. So that's a big part of making that initial connection with the guest. Obviously, Gabby's here to give the server perspective. You are all managers. You are people who hire servers. You are people who train servers. So pay attention to the things that she's pointing out that are important to her. One of the questions that comes up in training for me a lot is whose job, and I ask the cast or I ask the managers, whose job is it to greet the guest? And the answer that we're looking for, obviously, is it's everybody's. Sometimes people walk in the club and, you know, it's dark and their eyes are still kind of like adjusting to the light and they're standing there like they've got that deer in headlights look, and we're staring back at them like somebody do something. The idea is for your servers to not be afraid to take control of the situation, greet the guest, lead them to a table, begin that kind of journey where they're part of the sort of guide to Crazy Town.
The guide to Crazy Town.
Absolutely.
Right, and if his name is Larry, now forever he will be Tom.
He's still Tom.
Tom's
No
playing that
matter
role
what.
today.
Everybody gets a stage name, right? You got this is now Tom.
But I'm
Tom,
Larry.
You were Tom.
Not anymore.
Hi, Larry. You're Tom.
You may have been born Larry, but today you're Tom. So now we're going to seat the guests. which we kind of already talked about a little bit. That's making sure they understand where they want to sit and giving them all the seating options. What is a guest telling you if he wants to sit at the stage, Gabby?
So you're definitely going to follow through with what the guest wants. That's something a lot of servers get a little intimidated by when a guest first walks in. It's more of, I don't want to steal money from the bartender if he's going to the bar, or I don't want to steal money from, anyone else if he wants to sit at the table or sit at the stage. But you're going to walk with that guest. You're going to walk with him, be by his side. Even if it's a group, you definitely want to make him feel comfortable that no matter where he goes, you're going to be with him. And part of seating the guests is such a big thing, because we definitely want to make them feel acknowledged, feel known, and that's part of dropping that bev nap on the table. And it could even have your name, have a little heart on it. Make it fun for the guests to know that, hey, I'm here, and I'm not just going to let you go. Again, certain places you go to, you see, how servers they can just say, oh, hey, welcome. What can I get for you? You don't feel comfortable. You don't feel like you're acknowledged immediately, just like how Kelly said, deer in the headlights. Your shoulders are upright. You're reading that body language. They're not used to this. This is their first time. You want to give them that immersive adventure. You want to give them that reason to be comfortable, let their shoulders drop, make them feel at ease when you're seating the guests. And then before you make that proper introduction, you want to make sure that they're relaxed, they're good, and no matter what, they're always going to feel that little uptightness. And that's our job as servers, to not just be a server, but to be their guide, to be their host, to be that person where if they have questions, you can come to me and feel comfortable enough to ask me, and I will totally guide you wherever you need to go.
Guide them wherever they need to go. So, Kelly, what do you think? We break our clubs into basically 3 sections, or our businesses. We have the general seating, the bars, and the stages. Why do we think those 3 areas are important, and what is a guest telling us when they choose one of those 3 areas?
I was actually going to throw that back to you at the end, because you did a really cool demonstration during a superstar leadership seminar where we all had to sit in different parts of the room, and based on that it sort of changed the feel of the room. But real quick, I did want to say, first of all, I love that you mentioned, what is that bullshit about we're taking money away from the bar? One thing you have to tell your servers is our customers are always going to sit at the bar. For me, you don't even have to offer the bar as an option. They know it's an option. It's right there. It's a fucking bar. So those people that are going to go there are always going to go there. Your servers are never going to peel those people away from the floor. What you want to do is guide the guest to the place that you want them to go. So traditionally, we want to seat people to the stage. Why would we want to seat people at the stage?
Well, because we want to get them excited. We want the interaction with the entertainers. We want it to be a social experience. We want them to be right in the center of the action, and we want to get them tight together, just like a comedy club. If your guests are seated tight together, then the excitement they have, the clapping of the hands, the hooting and hollering, the smiles will be contagious. And now you have a whole crowd of people having a good time and enjoying themselves. Versus if you just let them seat themselves randomly, they'll be spaced throughout the club, and they won't have this interaction. They won't have this contagious feeling. They're actually going to feel like they're in an empty building.
Exactly. So if you seat people if people are seated in all 4 corners of the room feels empty. The other thing is we want to get our entertainers excited and motivated, right? So the easiest way to do that is to get some people tipping at the rail. So encourage guests to go to the stage. Most likely they're going to follow wherever she leads. If a guest has a particular preference, of course you honor that preference, and she said that as well. Real quick, I just wanted to go back to something that Gabby said, because you talked about the guests, body language. In training, we like to make servers aware of body language as well. What would be a good example of positive body language for a server?
Positive body language for a server would include being upright with your tray, you're looking at them, you're smiling, you're super confident, you're super bubbly, because ultimately you're getting a guest coming to your table. You're going to be nervous too. We're all going to be nervous. That's why we're being friends. Hi, Tom. I'm Gabby. Gabby, Tom. So immediately we've established that connection where, we're together. And so part of that body language is you want to show them it's okay. You don't want to give them that, oh yeah, be scared. I'm scared too. No, you want to show them that it's okay. Relax. We're in a good environment. I've got you. Don't worry. I won't let someone kidnap you without your permission. But ultimately, I want a guest to see.
Kidnapping with a smile.
Kidnapping with it's not kidnapping if you like it. But ultimately, I want to be confident, comfortable, upright. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm saying. And at the end of the day, I want you to have the best experience ever.
Awesome. Well said.
Like, yeah.
Kelly, what do we mean by make introductions, number 3 of our 10 steps?
Making the introduction. We forget to do this sometimes because we're in such a hurry to take the order. And there are going to be instances where the club is busy, where you're weeded. Encourage your servers not to skip steps of service. Even if you do them more quickly, sometimes you're going to have time to stretch them out. Sometimes you're going to have to condense them. You always want to introduce yourself. You want to make yourself known to the guests. You want to make them aware of your name as well as be aware of their name. This is sort of the start of a process that we've alluded to, which is making the connection. We're going to make a connection with the guest. How are we going to do that? We're going to ask them questions. We're going to be reassuring. We're going to use open body language, maybe even a little bit of body contact. That doesn't mean jumping up and down on people if it's if it's not your style. It's more about a touch on the hand or the arm or the shoulder, again, to make the guest feel welcome the whole time you're making eye contact, and you're starting to learn a little bit about this guest and what kind of, right, like that.
Here, Tom.
I like playing Tom.
You're a good Tom right now. You want to start to get a sense of the type of experience that the guest is seeking. This is something that's going to become more important as we continue on this journey of service.
I think part of also making the introduction should be noted that you're introducing them to the business itself. Although you've done the greeting and the seating, we really didn't talk about the touring and the showing the guests around and introducing them to other people that are going to be a part of the show. Whether that's the manager, it's the host, or vice versa, going the other way around, the host introducing to the server introducing to the entertainers, the entertainment engineers. Everybody's a part of this show, so everybody should be part of this introduction. So I think part of step 3 is the overall entertainment, or introduction to the entire operation, where the bathrooms are, where the ATMs are, where the bars are, all of these different things that are going to be a part of their overall experience at your venue.
And then one thing I like to lead off of that, from a server's perspective, and it's something that I feel a lot of servers miss that step on, is part of making the introduction, greeting the guests, seating the guests, it's off your first impression. You know, when you go to an establishment or any type of restaurant or business, that first impression is so important to a guest, and it's so important to management. It reflects how our business is being run. If a guest comes in and your first impression is, oh, hi, would you like to sit at the bar? Sure thing. Or sit at a table, what can I get for you? And immediately you're just jumping to the point. You're not even being personable with the guests. You're not making them feel comfortable. Chances of them having a wonderful experience are slowly going to diminish. And that's based off that first impression. So for my servers and training them, that first impression is a big key thing. First impression, last impression. When a guest comes in, you want them to feel welcome. You want them to feel excited. Even though they're nervous, you want to get those nerves out and help them and assist them in any way possible. But just keep a note, just first impression, make the introduction, say your name. Even write it on the bev nap with a little heart, highlight it, and just let them know, hey, Tom.
Thanks.
Here,
Still
Tom.
here.
Welcome, Tom. Welcome to the club. If you have any questions, let me know. But you want to make sure that you're there. And that first impression leaves off such a big footprint for the rest of their experience followed.
Well said. You don't even need us up here, Gabby. You could have just ran this whole show.
I know, we're just
Kelly and I could be
decoration.
at the bar down the road,
Yes.
just relaxing, you know. All right, so
Speaking-
step number 4
Of marking the table.
is marking the table, which we
Whoa.
briefly just talked about. Kelly, do you have any other additional suggestions about marking the table?
So before today, I thought that I had more to say about marking tables and little white napkins than anybody on earth, but apparently you have more to say. So I'll throw it back to you after this. Marking or flagging the table is the term, and you have to explain this to new servers because they may not necessarily be familiar with the terminology, is just the idea that when I seat you, the first thing I'm going to do is place a napkin on the table. Why? Part of the reason is sometimes you're going to go ahead and follow the steps of service, get the initial order taken, get to the bar, and the bar's backed up. It's weeded. Whatever. You're weeded. Somehow the fact of putting that white napkin in front of someone buys you about 5 minutes of goodwill. The guest knows, Tom knows you're coming back for him. The second reason, maybe even more important, is that when a manager, someone like myself, walks onto the floor and looks around and sees tables with no drinks in front of them, we start to get a little anxious. We start to kind of vibrate. If we see the napkin, we at least know the most important thing, that the guest has been acknowledged. We still have to figure out what the holdup is at the bar, but at least we know that our guest has begun an interaction with somebody in the club, and that really is the most important step.
That is a great step. So in addition to marking and flagging the table and making sure the manager knows and the other servers know that this guest has had some sort of service and or at least been acknowledged, it's sort of marking him as a whole. So there's different ways to do that with different colored napkins. You can use black napkins or red napkins if it's their first visit. Now everybody in the club sees a red napkin. They know it's the first time this guy's ever, or this guest has ever been inside of that business, and therefore they come over, they say hi, oh, blah, blah, blah. They talk to them a little more. They make them feel a little bit more welcome because it's their first visit. We want to keep them coming back. If we can get a guest to come back 3 times, they're a regular, and we have them for life. So this first visit, our whole goal is to get them to come back a second time. Along with your name and the beautiful heart that you're going to put on there, Gabby, you could put my name, Tom, on the napkin. Now you will remember my name when you walk up to the table because it's written on the napkin next to your name. It says, Gabby loves Tom. Now I feel very good. We've had this experience together. I have a napkin that shows that you love me. And then as you're delivering the cocktails, that the beverages that the guest has ordered, you could write down the beverage that's on there. And that way you remember what they're drinking. So in this first experience, you're starting to memorize all of the important things you need to know about Tom, our brand new guest. It's his first time here. He likes to drink Tito's and ginger beer. If anybody's wondering what Tom likes to drink out there, that's
buy
what
Tom a
Tom
drink.
would like. And then you start to remember. So when you come back for that second beverage, that coming back for another drink, you already know that I'm looking for this Tito's and ginger beer, and you don't have to guess. You can just say, okay, I'm going to bring you another Tito's and ginger beer, Tom, because you look fucking thirsty and you're having a great time and you love Gabby. And that's how you want to treat me. So on top of the simpleness of just flagging it, there's that. And then when you come back with the second drink, you're bringing that white napkin. This is where you get to have some more fun because now you know Tom. You've memorized his drink. You get to add in a dad joke or a little bit of trivia to mess with Tom. So now Tom's reading the napkin trying to figure out what the dad joke is or his new piece of trivia that he's going to learn about you, Gabby, or the world itself. So these are the added things that you could do that go along with marking and flagging a table to make it more fun and more interactive to give our guests that over-the-top service we promised.
Absolutely. And
Outrageous service.
outrageous service. There we go. Definitely going
And
off
that too.
going off that. Marking or flagging the table on a server's perspective. So even though we're taught and we're trained, hey, mark and flag the table. Yes, there's a lot of simplicity behind that, but let's look at the real reason behind why we're doing it versus why we're just listening and we just got to do it. When a guest comes in and you mark that table, you drop the bev nap, it has your name, a heart, you're setting up that initial connection, that initial interpersonal level with that guest. You want them to not only feel welcomed, but you want them to definitely feel more comfortable and more at ease with, watching the entertainers on stage, asking questions, looking around. They're now really happy. You got them happy. That's where we want them at. We want them satisfied, happy, that over the top experience. You don't want them all upset and whatnot, but that's why we're trying to mark or flag the table to let them know not only do we acknowledge you, not only are you there, but I'm also letting you know, hey, I'm by your side. Let's play a game. Let me initially connect with you, and that's part of the conversation starter, the icebreakers, like Jason was saying earlier. You could put little games, little dad jokes. You want them to break out of their shell, because no matter what, by the time you get to step 4, that guest is still probably a little timid, but he's probably eased up. But you still want to get them a little warm feeling. You want to get them going.
I like it. Presenting the menu and the options. Kelly, what are we talking about there? What is presenting menus and options?
So we fought about this one a little bit because this initial step used to be called, or this 5th step used to be called taking the initial order. And Jason said no. And I was like, why can't I call it that? And you said,
Because we're not order takers.
because we're not order takers.
How can we say take the order if we're not order takers?
Well, so this
Words
was,
matter, right, Wolf?
this was the fight. Wolf, back me up on this. So my point usually at this juncture in the training is to say, look, we've gotten to our 5th step of service and we haven't even taken a drink order yet. We haven't even served or even found out what the initial round is going to be. So the reason for that is because, yes, we are so much more than just order takers. This is a whole experience. This is a whole journey. It's a whole interaction. And what new servers have to understand, particularly if they've not worked at either Disney or the adult entertainment industry, is that they are part of the show. This whole method of taking orders is really just part of the entertainment. So that's something that you're going to have to sort of demonstrate to them over and over and over again. But it really, really is important. Presenting menus and options means that if we have a cocktail menu, we're going to bring the guest's attention to the cocktail menu, bottle menu, food menu, hookah, whatever it is that you happen to have, because this is also part of suggestive selling. And to talk a little bit more about suggestive selling and how she does this on a day-to-day basis, I'm going to throw it over to Gabby.
All right.
Hi, Gabby.
Hi, Tom.
Gabby, tell us about the SNS.
The
That's
SNS.
different than the S&M how.
Oh. Why did it take me a while to register that? So I do have an S&S process when it comes to guests ordering certain beverages. Now let's begin from the beginning. Presenting menus and options. You definitely want to give guests options that better suit their needs for what they want. And by that, the first question we normally get as a server is, hey, you have a cocktail menu? It's a big question. And for some clubs, we do not have a cocktail menu. Hence the reason I follow through with the S&S question. So
You don't have cocktail menus?
we have beverage menus. We have hookah menus, cigar menus.
I can't believe you don't have a cocktail menu.
Shame.
But,
You call yourself a fantasy facilitator.
well, here's the thing.
I'm taking you're just a facilitator now.
There's the menu. The menu shows a lot, but your knowledge as a server, what you can present to the guest, definitely shows you 1,000 more things. And that's why I present the S&S treatment. S&S is when a guest is asking, hey, what kind of drinks do you have? Or do you guys have a cocktail menu? Immediately, you're kind of turning into a deer in the headlights. Oh my gosh. S&S is you're talking to the guests, you're alleviating them of that pressure of wanting to pick between, hey, would you like anything sweet or sour? Do you want any liquor or beer? And that's part of going into presenting that option for them. You're giving them a choice. Hey, would you like this or would you like that? Or how about this? Or how about that? You definitely don't want to leave them high and dry, especially if there's no sense of idea that you have, which is something that a lot of servers, I believe, should retain that knowledge of. Being able to present them with options on your own behalf, that's something we definitely have to present, not just expecting them to know what they want. Because immediately, when guests come to the club, they sometimes don't know what they want. Now, granted, some do. Some have an idea. Hey, I want a martini. Hey, I want a gin and tonic. Oh, okay, perfect. And then there's a few, maybe the 90% of the guests are like, oh no, I don't know what I want. Can you help me out here? Can you give me advice? And that's something that we should promote, is giving them options to better suit their needs as far as, do you want something sweet, sour? Would you like beer? Would you like liquor? And just giving them that sense of, hey, at least I've got you on these areas, so we won't be looking high and dry at any point.
I just
Well
want to
said.
piggyback on that real quick because as managers, you're hiring servers who may not have any or very little previous experience, so they're not going to know that much about beverage. And while our goal is to continue to do that ongoing training with them, in the beginning, would you suggest, Gabby, maybe just teaching them a couple of things that have a sweet flavor profile, a couple of things that have a sour profile or a fruity profile, or
Absolutely.
a more or a stronger sort of feel to them?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And servers don't necessarily have to know a paloma or know these tricky drinks with these very weird, interesting, intriguing names. It could be drinks as simple as a tequila sunrise or just different mixture drinks, maybe an AMF, Long Island, depending on what their wants are, their needs are, what they're feeling. It's nice to have just a little bit of knowledge just to give them that option so that it can better suit what they're going for. If they want something strong, how about an AMF for a Long Island? They want something sweet but a little strong. How about a tequila sunrise? But just go off the basis of that.
What's an AMF?
It is an adios, motherfucker.
Just wanted her to say motherfucker.
Wow.
I have a question. If somebody orders from you like a vodka tonic, how would you follow that up?
Ooh, ordering a vodka tonic as a server, this is your chance. This is your time to shine, as I say it. Ordering a vodka tonic, you generally don't want to give them the, oh, sure, what kind of vodka would you like? That's definitely not our go-to. That's part of which we're going to go to the later slide, which is the upselling. But when a guest orders a drink as a vodka tonic, maybe a tequila soda. You don't want to just ask them that question of, oh, what kind of tequila or vodka would you prefer? You want to give them those options of, hey, would you prefer Grey Goose or Ciroc? You definitely don't, you want to limit them on the ability to pick option 3, which is just leaving them to say, oh, how about the cheapest one you have? Or let me get well vodka. No, we want to make money. We want to put more money in the club's hands, but we definitely want to better suit the customers, the guests' needs. So Grey Goose, Ciroc. And if they wanted a third option, they'll definitely ask you, oh, do you have Tito's? Yes, of course I do. But definitely give them that choice of, hey, Ciroc, Grey Goose, or how about Casamigos, Patron? But definitely give them that. And servers should definitely have that knowledge instead of just saying, oh, what kind of liquor would you like? Definitely want to make us look good, make them look good, and then have that customer, have the guest look at you like, oh, she knows.
She knows.
She knows.
This just happened to me the other night. I was out with friends, and my friend ordered a martini, and they were very open with their, what kind of vodka would you like? And he said, well, if they would have gave him 2 choices, he would have picked one of the 2 choices. He would have been open to the suggestive sell. But because they didn't give it to him that way, they missed out. Open tab, Kelly? What is open tab?
Question mark?
Question mark?
Open tab?
So the reason there's a question mark there is we were discussing whether as managers we should train our servers to encourage guests or always give them the opportunity at least to open a tab. A couple of reasons that I say absolutely you do want to guide the guest in this direction is because, one, if a guest opens a tab, there's less transacting. It's a more fluid, it's a more seamless guest experience. Chances are they're also going to spend a little bit more freely. We're not saying, don't sell responsibly. What we're saying is just kind of take that out of the guest's head every now and then, while still continuing to sell responsibly. So opening a tab is always a good idea. It's also sort of a relationship with us now. It's like, oh, we're going to have a tab together. We're going to have a relationship. And it's yet another way to kind of continue to memorize that guest's name. I think you have something to add to this that is valuable to the audience.
Oh, most definitely. So when it comes to opening a tab, usually at night it's super busy. You maybe have 9, 10 servers on the floor. They're taking orders left and right, even though they're taking wonderful drink orders. So opening a tab, you're developing that interpersonal skill, especially interpersonal connection with that guest. You don't want him to constantly have like 6 different servers coming up to him. He already forgot that one server's name. You've got Jessica, Lorraine, Sarah, Brittany. You got everyone coming at him. But opening that tab establishes a good connection with that guest. And opening the tab doesn't just mean, hey, I know each drink is $25. Let's start you off $100 limit. That makes no sense. So when it comes to opening up a tab, servers should definitely be mindful on what they're getting and what they have. If they're getting drinks that are higher top shelf, we want to definitely start off with the minimum, not too low, not too high. How about a $200 limit to start off with? And guests will definitely let you know ahead of time, oh, can we put 500, 1,000? But you definitely want to give them that option that, hey, I'm not going too high, but I'm not going too low, but this is something that we can start off with and we can build and work off of that.
I like building and working off of things. It's always nice to go that route.
Well, she gave them a number that didn't scare them, but at the same time, she didn't sell herself short. So that's a little bit of a judgment call that a server has to make or be trained to make.
Absolutely.
So the answer is yes.
Open a
To
tab.
number 6.
Open
Yes.
the goddamn tab.
Open the tab.
Don't be afraid
So we
to
have
ask.
some guest longevity. We want them to stay as long as possible. Odds are if there's a tab open, they will stay longer and drink responsibly longer than if they're paying cash with each transaction. What is our next step going to be? Upsell and continue the party!
Yes.
What are we talking about with the upselling side, Gabby?
Ooh, upselling is my favorite. The thing is, as a server, you can upsell anything. You can upsell, as far as dances, you can upsell bottles, upsell the drinks. And it's going back to what I said before. When a guest orders a drink, it starts by just that simple drink. Can I get a vodka soda? Sure. Ciroc or Grey Goose. That's part of your upselling versus going as far as, oh, well, vodka. You can upsell bottle service, and bottle service is, once again, just like Kelly said, we're being mindful. We're being observant, looking at how many groups are there, if there's couples. If you have a bachelor party, obviously, and they're ordering shots and shots and shots, we want to try to sell bottles to them, not shots. We want to give them that idea of, hey, why don't we get you 3 bottles instead of getting you, unlimited shots and spending more and more money. Upsell as far as working with the entertainers. You want to upsell as getting them their dances. We all want to win at the end of the day. But by upselling, you're giving them not only options, but you're also helping yourself out, helping the guest out, helping the company out.
Well said. Kelly, we're continuing the party. What are we talking about with continuing the party?
Well, first of all, we're going to continue to talk about upselling. So one of the things that I've noticed with new servers in particular is they can get the first half of this right. They can get I'm not allowed to say initial order, the initial round of drinks to the table. And then sometimes that's where we falter a little bit, because let's say we have a table drinking a bucket of beer. So in my mind as a server, I've already decided you're a bucket of beer drinkers. This is all it's going to be. This is where it's going to go. There are opportunities to upsell anything. Yes, you can upsell bottle service, but you can also sell a round of shots to go with those beers. You can also sell food. You can also introduce some ladies to the table and sell some sex with a showgirl. So there's always an opportunity, no matter what the budget or the particular preference of your guest is. You can always sell one more thing. And if you think about that, if you put that in your servers' minds, if each of you could just sell one more thing to each guest, how many more tips would you make? How much more money would the club make? So that's something to think. There's all different levels of upsell to, here's a bottle of champagne to go with your bottle of vodka, to here's a round of shots. Here's a round of Jello shots even to go with your beer. Continuing the party really deals more with making sure that we're getting the reorders. So again, once we get that initial round of drinks to the table, what do? Are we done? No, we don't want to just, fall back to the service station, and talk to our friends and gossip. We want to be on the floor. We want to be visible. Even just being visible to our tables, I think, is a form of suggestive sell. Many guests are visual. If they see a beautiful server with a tray held aloft, they'll get thirsty. So you want to do that as a server. But upselling means that once you see a drink get to a certain level or a bottle of beer get to a certain level, you want to give the guest the opportunity to order that next round. A lot of rounds are lost, and those rounds add up over time.
Well said, well said. As far as continuing the party, as a server perspective, we like to call it low on E, or is low on fuel.
That's the
Oh my
one.
gosh. The minute you walk past the guest table and you see their cup is halfway full, that's the perfect time to, upsell. That's the perfect time to continue that party. And a nice suggestive strategy as far as being a server is not saying, oh, hey, did you want to get another drink, or are we done? No, how about another round? Or, hey, are we doing the same thing, or would we like to do anything different as far as tequila is concerned? But you definitely want to give them that option to continue that. Hey, the party's not over. It's just beginning.
And I think part of continuing the party leads us right into deepening the connection. Why do you think I think that, Gabby?
So definitely after you're continuing the party, you're deepening the connection. You've already given that guest such an experience, such a first impression, that they're having the time of their life at this point. You're getting to know Tom. Tom is living his best life. Tom told you exactly what he wanted in that night. He wanted a few dances, drinks. He's living his life. And at that point, it's almost as if you accomplished yourself. So deepening that connection is still getting to know them a lot more, talking to them, suggesting any other sales as far as dances, and maybe he's talking to an entertainer and you want to talk to everybody. Hey, so where are you coming from? Tom, how's Vegas? Bachelor party. Oh my gosh, what's going on? But you definitely want to let them know that, hey, you're not just another person. Even though I see millions of people a day, you're not just another person. You're not just another guest. You're a guest in this beautiful club. And I want to give you the time, the experience, everything that you want as a fantasy, and try to achieve that. But definitely want to let you know that regardless, no matter how much fun you're having, we're going to continue and I'm still going to be right here.
Absolutely. Great job. And I think there's even more to that deepening the connection and continuing the party. What do you think, Kelly?
Yes. Is that the
Good.
right answer? No,
Any thoughts on that?
Yes. 7 and 8 do go together. Step 7 really has more to do with the alcohol or the beverage aspect of it. If you're, a juice bar, or you have non-alcoholic beverages that you're serving. Deepening the connection has more to do with the interaction. But both of those things are actually happening together. We just sort of had to talk about them one at a time. So yeah, deepening the connection, and Gabby's alluded to it really, really well, is this whole journey through these steps of service. As a server, you're learning more and more about the guest. You're trying to figure out what sort of experience the guest wants, what brought them here. Do they always go to gentlemen's clubs? Is it their first time? Are they from out of town? Is it a couple? You know, are they freaky, or is this like a first date kind of situation? You have to be able to figure those things out. How do you do it? You do it by reading the guest. You do it by asking questions. Just ask. Most people will want to tell you more about themselves than you ever wanted to know. So it's pretty easy to get the information that you're looking for. Why do you want that information? One is you want to develop a regular. You want that regular to feel like a friend. That person is going to come back. That person is going to stay longer. That person is going to spend more if you do that. The second reason is, as you learn more about the guest and, you know, their fantasy, their experience, it's going to give you a better idea of what to sell them, how to upsell them, how to make suggestive sells. And that's where I think we also have to train our servers that it's not just about the beverage service. It's also about knowing where the ATM is, how Beaver Bucks work, how to get a VIP. It has to do with matchmaking. Do you, as a regular part of your business, introduce guests to entertainers or other cast members?
Absolutely, and that's part of asking those questions, just to get to know what they're looking for, what are they trying to accomplish. Like, for instance, a guest comes in and you're getting to know them, you're conversating, they're telling you everything, and next thing you know, they're bringing, or you can ask them questions like, hey, were you looking to get any dances, and did you have any idea of what you're looking for? You want an entertainer that's pole dancing, you want an entertainer that's just dropping it on the floor. So there's a lot of things to get to know the customer on and nitpick just to be that perfect matchmaker. And there's definitely nothing wrong with that. And I feel a lot of servers need to kind of maybe ease up. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. Be a matchmaker, and also work with your entertainers, because we all need to work together to accomplish the same goal. We're all trying to win. I want you to win. I want my managers to win. I want my customer or my guests to win. I want my entertainers to win. So asking those questions, deepening the connection, connecting people with each other, that's something that we truly value, and to not shy away from at any point in the time. And definitely, if the guest wants to take a tour, you can give them a tour. Or let's say the entertainer and the guests all want a tour. We can all jump together and we can all give a tour. But just letting him know, he or she, couple, letting them know that, we're here, we're deepening the connection, we're showing you around, we're making you feel more than just a guest. We're making you feel like you are in this show with us.
You are in the show.
You're in this with us. You're in the end game.
From the server side of things, I think we've lost some of the art of deepening the connection, and that's part of what we have to get back to, and part of the reason we put this whole presentation together. We've lost the massage side of things. So, when a guest needs to be a little bit more attended to, or doesn't need it, just needs more lady action around them, and you're a server, you shouldn't be afraid to give them a little hand massage, give them a little shoulder massage, make it feel a little bit more romantic and a little more loved, put a little more attention on the guests, make them feel important. And also, now you've done all of these fun games and everything, this is your buddy. At some point, you should be taking the orders right from the lap. Don't need to be standing over somebody to say, hey, what are you drinking? Hey, what's going on? Hey, are you ready for the next round? Get down on your knees, get next to him, get close, sit in the table with him, sit right on his fucking lap and have a good time. Make it a part of the party. You're in this show. You're a part of this entertainment. You can't stand there as a server and not act like you're a part of the show. You got to dive into this thing. Get involved. Make sure the guest knows you're involved, because what we're trying to build is regulars here. This is your opportunity as a server to build a regular. You're not going to do that if you're just an order taker. You've got to dive deep into this guest wants and needs to make sure that the connection is there, so they come back over and over again to see you, the server, to see the entertainers, to see the show. If you don't do that, if you don't make them feel special, that's not going to happen.
Definitely. Going off what Jason said, as far as being a server on the server side, servers should not feel like they just have to be a server and get their beverages and that's it, and just say, oh, entertainers can take it from here. No. Part of this team, part of building a great team, is to all take the initiative. If it's a slow day, talk to the guests, get to know the guests. Don't just throw an entertainer. You got him. That's Tom. Talk to Tom. He likes this, this, and this, and that. No, 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 no. Just like Jason said, get to know them, play your games, have fun. At the end of the day, it's about you having fun and accomplishing that goal, not just seeing them as money and, yeah, I got your order, get out of here. No, we want them to come back. I want them to not only go back off from the bachelor trip, but to go home and say, oh my God, honey, we need to come back here together and see Gabby.
Yes. Let's go find Gabby.
We need Gabby.
Gabby.
Oh, Tom.
Closing the check. What are we talking about, Kelly, with number 9, closing the check?
I just want to say, I really thought you were going to use massage as this whole like intricate like metaphor, but you meant actual massage, right?
I did actually mean, because I just saw it again at the Paris. You know, there we were at the Paris for the expo, and the servers were doing the massages at the table, and I'm like, why did we lose that simple piece of interaction that I used to love getting when I went to the clubs, like, you know, at secret shopping, and they came over and, hey, would you like a little massage? Hell yeah, I did. That was great. You know, sat there, and it kind of warmed the whole experience up, and it created a connection, and it got you comfortable. It got you comfortable. That's what we're talking about. Even a simple hand massage, it just gets you comfortable with the overall atmosphere.
I think the answer is insurance, but you're not talking about a deep tissue massage.
I'm not talking about bringing a table out and throwing them on the table, ripping their under off, and going crazy here. I'm talking about just a little easy shoulder massage, a simple hand massage.
But we digress. Closing the check. So there's a lot of the why behind this, but the most important thing, the takeaway as managers who are training servers, is tell them don't drop the fucking check. We hate check droppers. We've done all of this. We've had a successful interaction with a guest. We've learned more about them. We've possibly created a regular. We've match-maked. That is not a word.
Right, I like it.
I like it.
It is
We're gonna
now.
matchmake.
We have done our matchmaking, and now the club is closing. The night is over. The party that never ends has actually ended. The guest needs to go home. So he's requested the check, and we take it, and we put it on the table, and we walk away. That's a mistake. And we're going to get into this in more detail with Miss Gabby, but even more important than the beginning of this interaction is going to be the end of this interaction. So don't drop the check. And the piece that I will talk about is a technical piece, which is that our guest is going to have to fill out a tip total and a signature line and do math, and people who have had alcohol are not the best mathematicians. They can't add, so we want to make sure that they add correctly, number one. Number two, if you notice servers that complain a lot about, I gave such good service to this guest and they didn't tip me, but you see them dropping checks and walking away, that's part of the problem. It's very difficult for a guest who may be inclined to do so to be less than generous on a tip if you're standing over him, rubbing his shoulder, massaging him, and you're going to get a better tip that way. If you walk away, you are giving the guest the opportunity to be less than generous if that guest is so inclined. How do you deal with that on a daily basis when it's ready to closing time? What do you do?
Honestly, I'm very thankful that 2 CC check receipts come out because they're
Fuck up the first one.
the chances of someone messing up the first check are very, very likely. Hence the reason we have the second one, and it's beautiful. Whoever built that in there, wonderful. But as far as closing the check, you definitely don't want to drop it on the table and say, all right, cool, tip total signature, thanks, have a good night, guys. Absolutely not, definitely not the way to go. As far as what you did this from the moment they walked in here to the moment that this party is ending for them, you definitely want to make them known, you want to make it known, hey, I appreciate the fact that you were here. I hope you had an amazing experience. I hope Cherry has made your night amazing. And you definitely want to make them feel comfortable, especially, giving them that opportunity. Hey, you know what? Come back. We'll even get you a bottle. Come back. We'll get you hookah. And next time, but you definitely want to give them the idea that there is a next time, regardless. Not, hey, have a good trip. Hope you have fun. No, bring them back. So even if you have VIP cards, you definitely just want to give them that sense of, hey, come back. And, as far as the tip total signature line, that is something that definitely intimidates a lot of servers because we look at the tip, we look at the total, we want to make sure that everything's filled out, but also we need to push out that expectation out of our heads that what we're expecting, you don't have to see it on the check. So naturally, just like Kelly said, if you're rubbing his shoulders, hey, I hope you had a wonderful night. It was amazing helping you guys out. You're making them feel super comfortable and you're giving them that last impression that everyone wants to see. The minute they walk outside those doors, I want their last impression to be, oh my God, that was an amazing experience. Jesus Christ, we need to come back here. But as far as ending that whole transaction, yes, being mindful, not just dropping it and leaving them, that completely diminishes what you just did, building up to, the guest coming in, building the relationship, and then boom, bye. No. Definitely want to give them that sense of closure. Hey, it was amazing having you here, Tom. Oh my gosh. Maybe just crack a little joke in there, end it off with the icebreaker, but you definitely want to end it off with a fucking amazing last impression.
Fucking amazing last impression.
Not just
I
amazing.
like that one. Fucking amazing. Don't do that to people. What is wrong with you, Gabby? No wonder your guests keep coming back.
Of course.
That last impression. All right, so we're moving along to our final step.
Whoa!
Which is what, Gabby?
The importance of a last impression.
Yes, the last impression. Kelly, what do you think? How do we leave that last impression?
So obviously we've already delved into this a little bit, but the other important thing about the last impression is being sure that you invite the guest back to something specific. So one thing that servers need to be very well coached on in their pre-shift meetings and in their WhatsApps and in all of the other forms of communication that we are good at cultivating, they need to know what's coming up. They need to know the next event. They need to know the next, weekly special, anniversary party, feature, whatever it may be. This is just more content. It's more content for them to be able to say, come back and be my guest. Give them the tools. If you believe in bounce back passes, give them the bounce back pass. Put those in your server's hands. Make sure that if they have someone who spent well, who was generous with the entertainers, who tipped them well, that they don't have to come and hunt you down. They have the ability right then and there to bring that person back, to keep that person in a relationship that they want to continue. Because that really is the idea. It's not just to maximize our sales on any given night, it's to create lifelong guests. And the only way you do that is by a relationship. So that's where that last impression comes into play, because you're going to do that more in those final moments than you are at any other step along the way.
Absolutely. And that, the importance, going off you, the importance of a last impression, and I love to go off the mission statement. The importance of that last impression should include everything that you followed as far as that mission statement. You delivered an immersive adventure. You harnessed masterful showmanship. You gave them all those options. As a matter of fact, there's no question that the guest could ask saying, oh man, I wish she could have done this, because my gosh, if you followed the steps, there shouldn't be any questions. But you gave them that over-the-top experience, which is definitely what every guest should be leaving with, knowing that when they come back, and definitely you want them to come back, but when, not if, when they come back, they are your guests. You are going to give them that same exceptional, beautiful, over-the-top experience that you delivered them the first time, if not even better. But it's part of going above and beyond, and that importance of that last impression will just leave that lingering taste in their mouth. Oh my gosh, I am never going to steer away from Larry Flynt's Hustler Club.
I like the never steer away from Larry Flynt's Hustler Club. Man, Gabby, you have done a great job today. I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And as always, Kelly, you did an amazing job today. Thank you so much creating our slides and all of that wonderful stuff. If there's any questions, or if you just want to tell us how amazing we are, there's a QR code you can scan on your screen. We love compliments and questions and curiosity. So go ahead and send those out. And we can probably get to some of those questions before we get to the end of the show today. Kelly does have her phone if anybody has a quick text they want to send in. We will give you a minute to do that. What an amazing presentation. I'm glad that these things get recorded. This is the type of thing that you can show your new servers as you guys are bringing them on to your cast. So as you managers are bringing them in, the reason why we make these videos and why we started recording them is because it's such great content. You can use this in your training program. You can use this video to coach, guide, and teach the next up-and-coming superstars that we're looking for out there. So take all of these tools and make yourself successful. Be a part of your own success. Did you get any questions, Kelly?
I do have a question from the field.
Sweet.
So Gabby sort of alluded to this, where do you start the guest off in the tab, which is not something that all clubs necessarily do, but she is referencing a pre-authorization. So the managers wanted to know if that was an actual step of service to pre-authorize the card in advance.
Yes, you do have to pre-authorize the cards. I believe the Hustler somehow has an open pre-authorization, but I think everybody else's is set to 50. That's only because they have such large amounts and random large amounts. And I don't know if that needs to be set up everywhere, or if there's a fixed number. But I think it's $50 or $100 is the automatic pre-authorization amount. Everybody else out there. Probably New York has an open pre-authorization, I'm sure, but
Yeah, I think when used skillfully, I think that's a really good idea. But like with everything else, there's a training piece to this. Learning how to do that and how to administer that correctly is going to require more time and more effort and more resources from you.
right.
We have another question from the field about selling singles and VooCash, and I think that that's sort of been absorbed in the idea of upselling and introducing the guest to all of the different things that the club has to offer. Do you want to spend a minute on that?
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as that credit card hits and you're opening that tab, that's when you want to talk to a guest about the use of script money and what makes available to them, that they don't have to sort of just open a tab. They can open a tab and they can get $200 in script money, and they can use that $200 for dances, for rooms, for drinks. They can use it for whatever they want, for tipping whatever they feel the need to do. And then on top of that, at some point through the 10 steps of service, you should be getting them singles. Anytime somebody's paying with cash, the change should be in singles. You're missing an opportunity, a golden opportunity, all of it in singles. I don't care if it's a $4 drink and they gave you $100. They should get 96 ones back. This is what it's all about. If they don't have ones in their hand, you're failing your entertainers. You're failing, which is part two of anything you want to strategize. Part two is, how do the entertainers make money? If you aren't planning that, you're failing them. You can only do that if you make sure every guest gets ones. Give them the damn singles, people. Don't hold out. This is not gold you keep for later. Hook them up. Make sure they can spread the wealth. Make sure they can make it rain and have a good time. Always suggest signals at every time there's a transaction with a guest.
Gabby from Shreveport said that Gabby from Las Vegas did an amazing job, and that
Gabbies
Jason
are
Another
loving
Gabby?
each other.
Oh.
How
And
do you
that-
do that?
Hi, Gabby.
I'm like,
and that Jason, your beard should be seasonal.
thank you, Gabby. I appreciate the seasonal beards. All right, well, if that's all we have for today, thank all of you, but we're not done. We're going to move things back over to Studio 2, and our dear friend JC has some shout-outs. So here we go, live to JC, back in Studio 2.
Woo!
Guys, glad to be back. Glad to still be here. Hey, one of the best parts of this job is really giving shout outs to all our great cast and crew that's out there making things happen. And we have some very special shout outs today. In week number 34 of 2023, we have the Gay 90s, Minneapolis, who has had a 16-week streak of beating their historical best. Give it up for the Gay 90s in Minneapolis. They rocked the house. Secondly, I'd like to thank our friends over at Traverse City, Tammy and her crew. Historical best for 5 weeks in a row. You go, girl. You rock. Hustler Nola, always a soft spot for me. And in the team tree down there, I just love you guys, and you're just rocking the house and making a party happen. Thank you so much for all your hard work and promoting the Hustler on Bourbon Street. You guys are the best. The Office Minneapolis, if you ever get a chance to go there, well, this is a great this is a great neighborhood bar. So much fun. And Office, well, it's right near a bunch of offices, and people can phone home and say, baby, I'm still at the office. And they are on a 16-week streak. I think we can officially say goodbye to COVID, because we're all out there having fun. And next slide, please. And we have some social media shout outs too. Hey, let's think about this. It's not, social media is just not, hey, let's document and provide content. It's so much more than that. Social media is to say, this is what we're doing. This is what we're going to do. And better yet, it will tell you and all your fans and your audience out there of the party that they missed, and they shouldn't miss the next one. So, hey, for always rocking and consistency with their best, that works their best social media in not only producing their content, but getting it out on time, and their return on their guest counts, we'd like to thank the Love Boutique Shreveport, the Love Boutique Lansing Flint, and Boutique Erotica of Washington Park, and Lacey and her crew. You guys just kill it, and you are just growing these stores because everybody needs to enhance their love life, and that's what we do. Next slide, please. Social media shout-outs continued, and the most improved. And the most improved is that, hey, nobody was failing here, but these people have really put it together and made a strong comeback, and we see it at the front door. Guests are just loving these clubs right now, and guests are returning and just saying, hey, look, we love Little Darlings OKC, and we love Deja Vu Showgirls OKC. If you have not been there, you are missing out. They're so much fun. Next slide, please. Oh, I think I see one more down below. Love Boutique Flint, did we cover you? I think we did. Love Boutique Flint, thank you so much for all your hard work and dedication and getting all your social media out there and growing your business. Next slide, please. And let's do honorable mentions. And these aren't just honorable mentions. Okay, hey, good job, guys. This is called great job, guys. I'd like to say a personal thank you to Ralph James and Brittany for just running the best show club in the country called Larry Flint's Hustle Las Vegas. And any of you that were here last week, well, you saw it with your own eyes. If you're ever in Vegas, you have to come by and say hi to these guys, because that is excellence at its best. And let's say Deja Vu Showgirls Kalamazoo, love you guys. Just love you guys. Thank you so much, Holly, for always showing us some ideas that we perhaps have missed, and your creativity is just over the top, and we can't be more proud of everything that you do for us and how contagious your great energy is. So we love you guys. Thank you so much. And with that, I want to proudly hand the mic over to a dear friend and colleague of mine. She is the one responsible for keeping us all together and making the fun happen here at GoBEST. And let me introduce proudly Summer Ayala, who's able to corral all these unicorns and make them perform well together. Summer.
Thank you so much, JC. I appreciate that. I'm so honored to be presenting this slide to you because I've had the pleasure of hanging out with everyone the past month at Masterclass. Shout out Winter and Rocket Nips, you know exactly who you are, as well as the Gentlemen's Club Owners Expo. We learned how to throw amazing parties. So you may have missed our second annual GoBEST Awards. Now let's give a special shout out to all of our award winners. The most efficient award goes to Deja Vu Showgirls in Lansing. Our most entertaining award goes to Deja Vu Showgirls in Bakersfield. The guest satisfaction award goes to Larry Flint's Hustler Club Shreveport. Woo! Best promotions award, Deja Vu Showgirls in Lansing.
Buttholes!
Right? Shout out, Cam. Our Internet Savvy Award goes to Larry Flint's Hustler Club in NOLA. The Most Improved Award goes out to Larry Flint's Hustler Club in Las Vegas. The Highest Dance Average Award goes to Larry Flint's Hustler Club in Shreveport. Those dances. Woo. The Highest Grossing Award goes to Larry Flint's Hustler Club in Las Vegas.
Good job, guys.
Highest Grossing Per Square Foot Award goes to Paradise Lounge and Grill in San Diego.
Go Paradise!
The Most Organized Award, Miss Tammy Alana at Deja Vu Showgirls in Lansing.
Yay, Tammy!
Yay, Tammy, staying organized. The Boutique Operator of the Year Award, Miss Lacey Wells.
Yay, Lacey!
And our Rising Star, Dana Stouts at Larry Flint's Hustler Club in NOLA.
Now, I forgot to mention Dana, but Dana is such a big personality and rocks the house there at Hustler Las Vegas. I'm sorry that Ann, Tree, and Dana just rocking the house in New Orleans.
Thank you, JC. The Manager of the Year Award, Craig Bordeaux at the Gold Club in San Francisco. And I'm pretty sure I heard about the cheese there, so I need to go check that out. Our Employee of the Year Award, Frankie Castanos at the Larry Flint's Hustler Club here in Las Vegas. Woo, go Frankie. The Venue of the Year, Deja Vu Showgirls in Kalamazoo. Yes. And our most profitable award went to Deja Vu Showgirls in Nashville. Yeehaw. Now I'm going to pass it off to our fearless boss and expert party thrower, Mr. Jason Money.
Yay, Jason.
I wonder if JC's going to jump in here with me. You know, he can't handle it. He loves the limelight, this guy. He's like, I got to get in there with Summer. Summer, great job presenting your first time. Yay! Yes, she's got it over there. And you actually are the expert party thrower. She planned the golf tournaments, so much of the expo, so much of the awards ceremony that we got to do at Hustler. She worked with all of the teams, organizing a lot of that. So thank you for all you do, Summer. You do a great job. You get the Executive of the Year award. Yay! All right. Being a superstar is not a function of circumstance. Superstardom, as it turns out, is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline. That means you're thinking about being successful. You're deciding to be a champion. You're deciding to be a monster, and you're focusing your energy on doing that. You're disciplining yourself to be a superstar. It doesn't happen by accident. You make shit happen. And that's what it's all about, to be superstars out there. And I believe we have one last slide, and then it is a wonderful wrap for the day. What is our last slide of the day?
Our year in review.
It comes to our year in review. Yes, we are going to end today by giving you guys a little bit of a flashback of what we did in 2022 to 2023. So go ahead and go live out there for me with our year in review. Oh, the memories. That's it. If you hear my voice out there, thanks everybody for a wonderful year. Congratulations to those award winners, and we will see you guys at the next meeting next month. If we don't see you before, looking forward to seeing a group in Kalamazoo, another group in Masterclass, and that's it. See you next time. Bye.